Social media has been going wild. Videos have been circulating non-stop showing the Manchester community of content completely underwater. And believe it or not, the area has now turned into a full-on tourist attraction. People are coming from near and far, some just to witness this strange phenomenon, some to snap pictures or to shoot videos like me, and others to flex their entrepreneurial skills. One van back pull up with a jerk pan. The sweet scent of jerk chicken drifted across the valley like it was Sunday in the country, not a flooded disaster zone. And of course, I went too. But let me tell you, nothing could prepare me for what I saw. A massive body of water stretching across land that normally is dry, sitting on a road I once used to regularly drive on when heading into North Manchester. Seeing it on social media was one thing, but standing here in person watching the water shimmering across the basin was something else entirely. But what's even more shocking is this. We are now more than 3 weeks past Hurricane Melissa and the water is still here. And it's not coming from the sky, it's coming from underground. My name is Alexia and this is Jamaica in 10, here to give you the fast, clear and essential version of this developing story in Content Manchester. Even though Jamaica is no longer experiencing storm conditions, water has been rising from beneath the earth's surface in the content community. This is called groundwater rise, when the underground water reservoir becomes full and pressurized that it starts pushing upwards through the soil. To understand why this is happening, we need to take a closer look at how Jamaica's water system works and what makes this area so vulnerable. Jamaica's water resources are monitored and managed by the Water Resources Authority. They regulate, allocate, conserve and protect the island's water supply. Most people might think that our water mostly comes from rivers or streams, but in reality, a significant amount of Jamaica's water is stored underground, especially within our limestone aquifers. These limestone systems hold about half of the island's total underground water. So let's imagine what happened before and during Hurricane Melissa. So we have days and days of heavy downpour, rain that didn't just wet the ground but soaked deep into the earth. When rain falls, it has several possible paths. It can flow into rivers, streams, ponds, or it can run off on the land into drains, or it can seep into the soil and recharge the aquifers below. An aquifer, for clarity, is a natural underground storage where water accumulates in rock formations or sediments. So in Jamaica, we have two main types of aquifers. The first is alluvium aquifer, which are sandy and permeable, which allows things to pass through. They're made of gravel and sand. Water moves slowly through these aquifers drop by drop. The second type, which dominates central and western Jamaica, is the limestone aquifer. These contain caves, cracks, sinkholes and tunnels, natural pathways that allow water to move rapidly in large volumes underground. So it's almost like a river underground. The content community, like much of Manchester, sits on a limestone aquifer, and that's what makes this event so unusual. So under normal circumstances, limestone areas drain water efficiently through sinkholes and underground caves. These geological features help to regulate water levels naturally. But before Hurricane Melissa, and especially during the storm, the rainfall was so intense and prolonged that the limestone aquifer underground became overwhelmed. So it reached maximum storage capacity. And here is the key point. Instead of flowing sideways through the underground channels, the water is now being forced upwards. So the aquifer is under so much internal pressure that it's releasing water through sinkholes, cracks and weak points in the surface. This is why places like this, which are usually dry, are now covered by several feet of water. So sinkholes normally act as drains, draining water down, but when the aquifer below is empty, but now it is having a reverse effect because the aquifer below is full, the pressure build up, and it is pushing water upwards. I hope you understand. So this explains why flooding continues even on days when the sun is shining. Earlier reports from the Water Resource Authority Managing Director Peter Clarks confirmed that the problem actually started long before Hurricane Melissa. Groundwater levels had already risen significantly, more than 300 feet above normal, due to rainfall earlier in the season. Monitoring gauges were installed in the community, and in recent weeks, groundwater had been rising at nearly 1 foot per day, which is extremely high. But now we have new information, and this is where the situation becomes a little bit more hopeful, but also more complex. On November 20th, the WRA Deputy Managing Director Jeffrey Marshall gave an official update. He confirmed that the groundwater levels in the content area are finally beginning to recede, and we can see evidence of that here. It's not a dramatic drop, it's slow, steady and gradual, but the decline is consistent. This signals that the aquifer is starting to rebalance itself after weeks of being overloaded. However, this improvement in content comes with kind of another problem or another consequence. As this water slowly drains underground, groundwater levels are now rising in downstream and lower lying communities. Marshall highlighted areas such as Porous, Harmons, Comfort Hall, and Evergreen, all showing increases in groundwater levels as water leaves naturally through the limestone system. The WRA says that it is expected based on the direction of the groundwater flows beneath the surface. Communities downstream of content need to remain vigilant, as the shift in water levels can lead to delayed flooding. Residents are advised to take action immediately if their properties begin to show signs of rising water. We have to take heed. And the big question everyone keeps asking, when will the water go down? Everybody's asking. So for the first time, the WRA has offered a time frame. So based on the current observations here and comparisons similar to events happening in the past, it may take approximately 4 weeks from now for the water in content to completely recede if conditions remain steady. This is not the first time the community has experienced severe groundwater flooding. In 1997, a major flood claimed 2 lives. In 2002, another significant groundwater event affected the region. Content is naturally vulnerable because it lies in a low-lying limestone basin. Whenever groundwater rises sharply over rivers or rivers overflow, these basins act like bowels, collecting and trapping water until the underground aquifer drains. This current situation has serious implications for the people and the environment. Homes have been flooded, farms destroyed, entire families displaced with little warning. Standing water increases the risk of mosquito breeding, water contamination, and limited access to clean water and food. So from an environmental perspective, prolonged groundwater flooding weakens the soil structures, damages roads, disrupts ecosystems, and stresses vegetation that cannot survive extended saturation. While we cannot stop underground water from rising, we can reduce its impact. So strategic land use planning, avoid development in limestone basins, elevating roads, maintaining natural drainage channels, and keeping sinkholes clear from debris and garbage can make a significant difference. Long-term monitoring and public education are also essential so that communities can prepare before danger reaches their doorstep. The situation in content highlights just how complex Jamaica's geology is and how crucial planning and monitoring are for communities built in limestone plains just like this. Our hearts remain with the families affected, and we will continue tracking this developing story closely. Well, that's it for the situation in content. I hope I gave you a little bit more clarity as to what is happening. I hope you now understand the concept of groundwater, aquifers, and all of that. And I definitely hope you learned something today, because I certainly did. Please continue to support my platform as we grow together. And as I always say, love each other, live good, and take care.